Amazon wants you to find your people, but only if they are people they agree with. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel once more and welcome to another video. This time we have information from Amazon's Lord of the Rings video show, The Rings of Power, but this time about a message commercial. I don't even know what it was, but it was a clip that was produced and released by Amazon Prime these days, and thanks to European Lore who brought this to my attention, and well, I couldn't pass talking about it. It's a video that it's quite innocent, it's quite mild. I actually think that the video is not that bad. It's just, this kid that seems to be bad at everything that he tries. We see him there playing football, and well, he lets the ball pass as a goalkeeper, and then, kids and their cruelty. It's something that we all know about, and they are like, hey, what's the matter? You let it go, or something like that, but it's really of no big consequence. So, of course, he feels bad about it, and he's like, man, I failed. I need to look for another hobby or something, and then he tries for band, the school band. He doesn't know shit about playing the trumpet, and of course, he doesn't fit in quite well. He's daydreaming at school while teacher is trying to teach kids algebra and something. Then a wind comes and drops a bunch of papers along with a book that was there lying on the classroom, and that's something surprising considering that I think The Lord of the Rings has been amongst the banned books all over the USA, so to see that they have a Lord of the Rings book lying around, maybe someone was not very thorough when they were collecting all those copies of those banned books, I would be as surprised if I also saw one of those George Orwell 1984 copies, because those books have been banned. But, anyways, I think that we are digressing a little. But the interesting thing there is that the kid looks at this copy of The Lord of the Rings that is holding one of those new and quite awful and quite pointless HarperCollins copies that have these covers, the covers that promote the Rings of Power. And of course, it's something that I don't really like. It's something that I disagree with, and many others have spoken about this as well, and they have said this is not appropriate and this is not correct, considering that The Lord of the Rings is a story set in the Third Age, and according to you, your show is set in the Second Age. So, what's the point in having these covers when the events that will take place in your show will, of course, be missing there in this particular writing in this particular book? But you know how things are with marketing and merchandise all over the place, and of course Amazon is not one that lets pass by such an opportunity as this one, right? Anyways, the kid of course reads the book and likes it, and I mean, who doesn't really love The Lord of the Rings once you have read it? I mean, it's a wonderful piece. So I like that the kid is just so immersed with this, and it's even coming to the point in which the mom has to say, hey, you've got to stop with that, mate, oi, your fairies can wait, and he's like, no, mom, they are not fairies. They are elves. Yes, please. Thank you, mom. If you can, educate yourself in Tolkien lore, that will be really appreciated. But I mean, it's nice to see that, and how the kid is happy reading The Lord of the Rings, immersed, trying to live in this world. I mean, who doesn't want to live there, Who doesn't want to walk around the fair trees of Lothlorien? Who doesn't want to be in the last homely home there in Middle Earth, partaking with the elves in Rivendell? Who doesn't want to enjoy a bit of tea and maybe some late supper in the Shire, or maybe, second breakfast or something like that. So, I mean, each and every single one of us who have read The Lord of the Rings, we all feel like I would like to be there. So it's quite nice to see the kid trying to, yeah, I'm going to be an elf, I want to be an elf, and of course he takes the bus to go to the premiere to The Rings of Power in a cinema, in a theater, and finds lots of people, that just feel and think the same way that he does. And he's like, yeah, I'm in, and everyone is like, hey, hello, how's it going? Of course, while he was taking the bus, everyone was looking at him like, what the hell is wrong with you, with all clad with those medieval or semi-medieval clothes and all that. But once he gets there, he feels at home, right? He found his people finally, and he's doing well. So he's partaking with all these, kindred spirits, let's call them. And the voiceover from the video says, find your people. And that's exactly the point of this video. Amazon doesn't want you to find your people, clearly. Clearly they don't. What they want you to do is just mindlessly consume their product. They want you to give their crappy show a chance. Even with all that we have been saying here in these videos, and other people have been pointing out as well, about how they are changing the story, how they are adding new characters that are completely unnecessary, how they are changing also some of the characters that we know very well and that we also love from Tolkien's writings. They are even adding new dialogue, new dialect, new languages. And now with the orcs, well, now they are also saying that there are going to be female orcs, and that, according to European lore, of course, shout out to them, they are also going to try to insert an idea that maybe orcs are not as bad as we all think and they are just oppressed individuals. Anyways, the point here is that they want you to consume that. They don't want you to find your people. They don't want you to go out there and find kindred spirits that actually read the book and that respect the book and that they think it is important to preserve Tolkien. Every time that anyone has spoken against the Rings of Power, they have done anything within their power, pun intended maybe, to eliminate and erase any trace of their being there. Just look at what happened when they released the first trailer to The Rings of Power all the way back in February, and how they were deleting the comments, they were deleting dislikes and so on, in order to try to give the impression that this was not as poorly received as it actually was. And a similar situation is happening with this new clip that I am mentioning right now and that I am describing, in which they are also trying to delete those comments that they deem inappropriate or comments that they find they don't really represent what they want to represent, whatever it is, with this video. And that is when I say that, yeah, they don't want you to find your people. Because if you agree that this show is crap, if you agree that this show is going to destroy and step on Tolkien's lore and his legacy and everything that he left behind for us to enjoy, if you believe just for a moment that perhaps this show is not good or will not be good, then you are the enemy. If you find your people, and there are others such as yourself that also think the same, then you must be discouraged, you must be deleted, you must be obliterated, you must be ignored, not paid attention to. And they are trying their best to buy out, you heard me well, buy out as many of those guys that claim to be Tolkien scholars, Tolkien people, Tolkien oriented channels and the like, and tell them to tell you, give this a chance. They know how they dropped the ball with those quote unquote super fans that we had at the beginning, that they were reacting also to the trailer, that were invited to watch the trailer in a castle or something. And something similar has happened now with what we would have called in the past Tolkien fans, real Tolkien fans, not these super fans. And they were taken to Oxford and they were taken to the Bodleian Library and all that, so they have been bought as well. Those are the people that you need to find. Those are the people that you need to call your own. For Amazon, for the Rings of Power crap show, those are the people that you should be interested in. If you find fans that do not like the Rings of Power, if you find fans that stick to the writings, if you find fans that even complain about the Peter Jackson films because they think that they should have added Tom Bombadil, and believe me, there are quite a few of those. Well, if you find those people, then you are a hateful person, you're a hateful individual, and you have no place in Tolkien and around Tolkien fandom, and those are not your people. The people that you need to pay attention to, the people that you need to call your own, are those quote unquote super fans that know fuck all about Tolkien, yet were invited to have a reaction. And you also need to call your people those quote unquote fans that sold their souls. That's what they did, sold their souls for a cheap trip to Oxford and to the Bodleian Library. That in my case, I know it's just around the corner. Basically, I just need to take the train there, and I'm around. And I know that for many people, that is something impossible. And even now, with the pandemic and all, it becomes even more complicated. I understand that. I am aware of that. But still, are you really going to sell your reputation? Are you really going to sell your credibility for a cheap trip? Still, Amazon wants you to call those people your people. Amazon wants you to accept quote unquote scholars like Morena Rios Maldonado as your people as well, even though she has claimed in the past that Tolkien is outdated. Are those really the people that they want us to call our own? Because let me tell you that I, for one, won't be calling them anything but what they really are: phonies. What's your opinion about this? Let me know down below in the comments. Thank you for watching this video, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Until next time, until we meet again, take care. Thank you.